Greetings, greetings, beautiful being, and thank you for tuning in to today's Movement Medicine Morsel. We're going to be showing some appreciation to our wonderful spines. And the yogis say that the spine is our fountain of youth. So keeping the spine supple and moving in all of its possible directions, but not just moving, but moving with comfort and ease. Because we often want to accomplish something by pushing, and pushing actually usually ends up in bracing or recoiling. So if we start with the idea of moving with ease and really listening to our own bodies talking to us, if something feels like too much, do a little less. Move a little more slowly and find the sweetness in the movement. So with that, let's begin. I'm just going to move my seat back a tiny bit so you'll be able to see my spine in case you need a little visual cue. So let's begin by sitting beautifully. The journey always begins with the first step. So let's plant our feet, feel our feet on the ground. You can even look at them to help root yourself. Feel the sit bones, rock them a little bit so you're really in tune with both of them sinking into the chair seat. And the first direction of a happy spine is a beautiful vertical alignment or elongation. So we know what gravity does. Gravity does this. We've connected to our roots, but out of the roots we want to get a beautiful elongation, gently lifting upwards. A nice way to do this is to think of the roof of the mouth, the base of the skull or the roof of the mouth, your hard palate, and imagine the hard palate rising up gently, straight up, to create a little bit of elongation in the spine, and this helps lift the skull evenly. We don't want the chin too high or the back of the neck too high, just right. So you might even want to touch your cheekbones like I'm doing and gently float the skull straight up. It's very delicate. There's a subtle place where you feel like, ooh, I've just grown a half an inch or a centimeter, however you like to measure, and we want that elongation. That's called axial extension or vertical alignment. So that is number one, and it's the position we want with all of the other movements we're about to do. But let's finish settling ourselves. So we're in vertical alignment, we feel our roots. Let's place our hands on our low belly. Smile and take an inhalation that fills our belly and even our backs. And exhale, sigh it out. And maybe lift the shoulders if you want to the next time. As we inhale, the shoulders come up to the ears, maybe the head pulls back a little bit. And on the sigh, make the releasing slow. For this one, let the arms hang, the neck elongates, the shoulders melt. One more like that. Inhale, you can come up a little bit more quickly, but let that releasing be slow, sustained. The neck lengthens, roof of the mouth rises, and the shoulders hang. Okay, and now we're going to move into flexion and extension of the spine. You don't even need to know the names, but if you want them, there they are. We're going to turn a little bit sideways. This has to do with the turning of the pelvis to initiate. And let's have our hands on our hips. As we exhale, the small of the waist sinks towards the wall behind you, and just let the rest of your spine curve. On the inhalation, roll towards the front of your pubic bone on the chair. The small of the waist arches forward. On the exhalation, the small of the waist melts back. Feel yourself rolling onto the back sit bones. And roll through the sit bones to the front as the small of the waist arches. Let the rest of your spine do whatever it wants to do with this. You're sensing the rolling of your sit bones. You're sensing the turning of the pelvis. And all of this is being done slowly and smoothly. At some point, you might want to rest your hands on your thighs And notice what the head and the neck want to do. Maybe the head wants to look down gently on the rounding of the back, and the chest and throat open a little bit on the arching of the back. And don't forget, we've got that elongation through the roof of the mouth and the crown of the head. And maybe your shoulders want to get in on this too. How does it feel if your shoulders slide forward as your waist dips back? And then your shoulders glide back as the front of the body opens. And enjoy this gentle rocking, so smooth that it feels like a lullaby for your spine. And that means we're also calming our nervous systems. Okay, let's do a little bit for the side body. Let's have the hands resting, and you want to think about your armpit. On the exhalation, let one armpit move towards its hip. So I'm shortening that side and just allowing the other side to open. Not a big stretch, but an opening. And then slowly return back. And on the exhalation, shortening the same side. Let the neck be part of this as well. And on the inhalation, a gentle, slow release. Maybe you even want to curve the tiniest bit up the other way. And let's do one more of those. Exhale, feel the one side shortening. And on the inhalation, let it unspool. And maybe elongate just a tiny bit in the other direction. And then come to neutral and just be. Move around a little bit. Remember, we're always using the vertical alignment as our base. And just notice what you feel, even the subtleties. And let's do the other side. So first we elongate, and on the exhalation, the second armpit draws towards the hip, and the ear comes a little bit with it, softly. On the inhalation, there's a gentle releasing through vertical alignment, and maybe just the teeniest bit of elongation on that side. Relax. On the exhalation, shorten gently, just enough to feel the shift. Inhale, release gently and relax. One more for good luck. Exhale, consciously shorten without overdoing. And on the inhalation, allow the release and a tiny bit of extra elongation. Then come back to center and just see how all of that feels for you. Has anything changed? Do you feel like moving a little bit? How does it feel to move your neck? And do move your neck just a little bit from side to side, because the final movement we're going to explore is actually rotation. So let's take our knees a little bit to one side, as though you're facing slightly on the diagonal of the direction you're going to turn. And let's gently turn. You can bring the hand to the outside of the thigh. Let the whole spine turn, including the head and the neck, and just come back to center. On the exhalation, you're rotating. Maybe you're feeling the pelvis move, the waist, the chest. Also the neck and the head, and everything is coming back just to center. And one more time, we're going to turn all the way around, just gently. And everything stays where it is, but just the head comes back. So from the shoulders down to the pelvis, you stay in the twist, and turn the head to look back. And then gently rotate the head to come back to the front. All you're doing is moving the head. Slowly, smoothly, and the next time your head comes to center, your chest is facing one way, tilt your head in the opposite direction and lift the top cheekbone. So it's a little bit of a back tilt of the head, and smile and breathe here and see if you can get a little longer inside. And remember, don't overdo. And then release back to the center. And see what all of that feels like. You may want to move a little bit. You may want to test just so gently, how does it feel to turn the head one way and then the other? Let's do the other side. So now the knees are going to slightly face that diagonal, so your pelvis is already turned like a steering wheel just a bit. And maybe you want to see on this side if you can turn your pelvis just a little bit, that it's not stuck in the chair. But remember, don't force anything, no matter what you do. This can be the minutest movement, or maybe you're visualizing the movement, and that's enough. And it is enough. It's not a lesser option, it's a profound option. So always be very, very confident in trusting that what you are able to do comfortably is the perfect amount. That more isn't better in this case. We're going inside sensitivity rather than trying to impose a look from the outside. Very important. So relax with this, come to your vertical alignment so there's freedom. And on the exhale, rotate pelvis, waist, chest, and the head and eyes. And everything comes back. I have to be careful not to talk when I'm turned away from you. And once again, the whole spine, everything turns. And maybe you want to inhale when everything comes back. We're going to turn one more time, and then just the head is going to come back. On the exhale, you're tall, everything is turning. And just the head comes back on the inhalation. The rest of the body stays in the twist. Exhale, the head and the eyes turn. Come back to center. And we'll do the head turn one more time. Keep your vertical alignment and your smile. Back to center. Keep the torso where it is. And now tilt the head back over the shoulder. Let the cheekbone rise. Take a few breaths. Remember to smile. And then release. Let everything come back to center. See how that feels. And let's do one gentle recap of everything. So first, inhale, vertical alignment. Exhale, roll on the pelvis so the small of the waist folds back. Inhale, send the waistline forward, the front of the body opens. Exhale, come center, and inhale, grow tall. Exhale, curve and shorten one side. Inhale, come up gently, rest on the plumb line. Exhale, curve the other way. Inhale, come back. Now twist to one side. Inhale, come back, and twist to the other side. Inhale, come back. Take a moment to see how you feel. And if you'd like to, I invite you to stand up. You can lean forward, get your weight into your feet, press into the feet, come into your vertical alignment so that you're very, very tall through the crown of the head. See how this feels. And maybe just walk around a little bit, feeling the lift through the roof of the mouth. Is turning a little bit easier for you? How do you feel? And if you are standing, let's just come to prayer position, standing or seated. Feel your vertical alignment. Appreciate your beautiful spine. And finish by bringing your hands down to the belly so we can always be grounded. And let your breath flow, filling the belly. On the inhalation, letting the belly fall as the breath leaves you. And thank you, dear friends, for tuning in to today's Movement Medicine Morsel, giving some love to our magnificent spines. I thank you, and I wish you a happy spine, a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time, or a beautiful evening, wherever you are.